I have been fighting for my mother freaking life, okay? And I'm not talking about physically, I'm talking about emotionally and mentally. And I felt like what better way to start this Raw Dog Final Day series than to talk about the fact that I'm really going through it in real mother freaking time. Creativity breeds creativity is so real. And it doesn't have to just be for creativity. Strength breeds strength. You know, seeing people do certain things makes you feel encouraged to do whatever you have to do. I realize that my life is a reflection of the things that I've experienced, the things that I've heard, things I've been told, things I've seen. You know, I feel like at the end of the day, like, we all are living testimonies of our environment, whether we recognize it or not. Consciously or subconsciously, we are reflecting what we learn, what we don't learn, what we don't even know that we need to learn. So me and my daughter are outside, and she has found all the flowers. So therefore, the microphone for this video will be this cute little flower, okay? So having a full transparency moment, when I first started doing this series, I went through a phase of like trying to figure out what the heck are you doing? Why are you doing this? Does it even mean anything? Like, what are you doing, Shelby? Like, why are you doing this? Like, why does this series even mean anything to you? Like, why do you want people to understand the things that you're going through? Because at the end of the day, like, nobody knows you, nobody knows your experiences, nobody understands what you may or may not be going through.
A few moments later.
The way I look is the way I feel. I have been struggling so hard today just to get through the basic things. So for those who don't know, I'm a mom to a toddler. Okay, I'm in the toddler trenches. And a lot of this series of raw dogging is about, you know, of course, like my everyday life, but also about the struggles of trying to figure out how to get my life together but also raising a life at the same time. And it's so hard. And when I say raw dogging, I want to like go in like more detail about what that means for me. It's about not being able to have any way to just numb life, you know. And I'm not knocking nobody who uses medication, anybody who, you know, has a little substance every here and then, or anybody who does whatever they gotta do to make it through life. But like, I'm literally just going through this without anything, you know. I'm going through it, of course, like with, I would say, maybe healthier sources like prayer, with God, with, you know, running, being active, moving my body, journaling. But sometimes it just feels like even with all those beautiful things, it's still hard, you know. And I feel like I've heard people say all the time, well, you have to pick your heart. Either your heart's going to be this or it's going to be that. All of it's going to be hard, you know. Choosing that conscious, healthy decision is hard, but also breaking an addiction is hard at the same time too. So it's like having to pick your heart is still hard, you know. And the reason why I even got the camera, picked it up and turned it on, was because I played this particular interview with a YouTuber that I watch, and she ate, okay?
Your ego protecting you that tells you, oh, don't post that, you're gonna be so embarrassed, all these people are gonna hate you. Nobody cares. Everybody's only paying attention to their own life. They caring what everybody else thinking too. So you so scared to post your content and do what you need to do because you scared everybody gonna judge you or look at you a certain way. They gonna look at it, they might make their comment, but they gonna move on to the next thing in 2 seconds.
Wow.
So it's like, why care? Like, and then your people gonna be for you. So my people that like
show up,
yes,
and they're there,
and that's
we'll
all I
be
want.
there.
Yeah, I don't want to fake and be nobody else and have people messing with me because they think I'm this person. Like, no, I'm gonna show you all of me. So off cameras, I'm exactly who I am on cameras.
Everything she said spoke to my spirit. If I wasn't already going through it, I have been through it during this week. And I realized that, like I said in the beginning of my video, creativity breeds creativity. When I was asking myself that question of why am I even doing this, you know, me and my friends for a while have been talking about the fact that we all want to start our own creative outlets. And while we have been creative in our own ways all of our lives, we want to expose them to the world. We want to be more intentional with making sure that the things that we have in our heads aren't just ideas, they are fruitions that come out into the world. And this series was an idea that I've been having in my head for a very long time because, like I said, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't have sex. So So I'm just going through life, and I'm literally just trying to find methods that work for me. And people who are on medication who need it, I understand. I get it. Sometimes I wish that I could just go that route and just tell the doctor, prescribe me something, because I need it. But I also know that I do enjoy being able to feel everything, even when it feels chaotic, because a lot of times that's how I know how to have better self-awareness. That's how I know how to better advocate for myself and for my energy. That's how I know how to know that this space is not my space, you know? And a lot of what raw dogging life has shown me is that there are ways to get through life, and the feelings that you're feeling, they are valid. It's just the actions that you gotta be a little bit careful with. But I'm okay with feeling 50 million things at once, even though right now I feel like I'm going through it and I'm tired, and all I want to do is just go home and be by myself and just be in solitude. I do recognize that a big part of my life is recognizing how to work through those emotions, even when they feel overwhelming, even when they feel overstimulating. And that's really what this series is really all about, you know? And I realized that a big reason why I was questioning myself going into this video was because I wasn't sure if I was really going to create a community. I'm still not sure. I have no idea where this will even go. But somebody told me today, just stay consistent. Just stay the course. You never know, like, when that one thing may pop off. And something that was said in that particular interview that I just posted was, she talked about the fact that, like, sometimes we plant seeds and they don't blossom in that season. So a lot of times you're going to plant a seed. And for me, planting my seed right now is planting this YouTube seed. It may not come tomorrow. It may not come next week. It may not come next month. It may not come in 2025, you know? And that's okay. I think that a big part that I've learned is when you raw dog life, you have to realize that it requires patience, it requires discipline, it requires self-awareness, it requires the things that take time. And with that being said, it's not going to be simple. You know, when you go get that shot, when you go smoke, or when you do whatever to relieve yourself, a lot of times it's a temporary high, you know? I want that long-term high. I want that longevity. And the reason why I'm making this series is one, to commit to myself, to give myself a creative outlet. But another reason is because I know that there is somebody out there who needs to realize and needs to hear it's okay if you're not an overnight success. Nobody truly is. Nobody is getting it overnight. And if they are getting it overnight, what I've learned, if you're not prepared, it's not going to last long anyway. Now, people who be winning the lottery and they had no money management prior, they are going to be back in that same place 2-3 months later because they're not ready, you know? And I feel like some of that, like, I'm going to end with, and I'll put the clip at the end of this video. I'm going to end this video with a Lauryn Hill interview. And if you watch my previous video on last Sunday, I also posted from that same interview. And she speaks about the fact that, like, we are all climbing mountains. And when we get to the top of that mountain, we can feel like we don't want to get down because we want to just be at the top. You know, we don't want to come down and have to experience, you know, a new reality. When life is all about experiencing different realities, experiencing different seasons, being a beginner, going to intermediate to advanced, and then honestly realizing we really don't know anything. So as much as we think that we're advanced and we have all this knowledge, we don't. We're just taking life day by day. So if you don't get anything from this video, just take life day by day. It will come together. This video is chaotic because I started off outside. Now I'm in my car. My daughter is sleeping. So I was like, let me take this time to at least put out this video to finish this challenge, because I learned something a long time ago. I don't want to be a perfectionist. I want to be a completionist. And that may not even be a word, but what I'm trying to say is I'm going to complete this challenge. And I thank you for being here. If you viewed every single day, thank you. If you haven't and you want to go back and view my first 4 days, which are YouTube shorts, some of them are part 1, part 2s. And this, of course, is a longer form content. I appreciate you for being on this journey. And if you're going to go along with me, from here on out, I will be posting at least one video every single day. More than likely, it will be on a Sunday. That's going to be my day that I'm going to commit to. And I just want to thank you for being here and for being a part of this journey thus far. And if I'm your people, I'm your people. If I'm not, I'm not. But I appreciate you for just being here and taking your time to give me something of your day.
We're all trying to get to this next level without, as my brethren says, without the next level finding us. You know, it's like life is peaks and valleys. And some people think some people explain that as good times, bad times, but I actually think it's learning or let's say learning mastership, okay, or study mastership. Now, I went from the top of one mountain. I'd mastered something. And people appreciated it. But, you know, once you're on the top of that mountain, you have to go this way. But in hip hop, everybody's like, I'm not moving. I'm the master. I'm great. I'm dope. I'm hot. I'm here. I've arrived. I'm not going anywhere. And that's what you stay stuck on top of one hill, one mountain, when, you know, God's intention is that we study and master a bunch of different things. And so here I am, descending this hill, and everybody's like, where you going? You know, we're supposed to be on the top of the hill. But it's exciting time. It's definitely exciting time for me because I'm at the foot of another hill. You know, this hill, you know, is different. You know, it's totally different. You have to navigate it different. But I get to learn. And then once you learn and you go through that, you on the top of another one. So I would just encourage everybody, never be afraid of not knowing. Never be afraid of not knowing. You know, find out. Because that's how you get, you know, to mastership. Let's not be mediocre in our greatness. You know what I mean? Like, think big. Think big. And think in doses. Think in experiences. And don't be afraid of experiences that teach you.